Hello friends, welcome to another class to go. For the second half of September, I am featuring the Love and Courage stamp set from the mini catalog. This one is gorgeous and the greetings are fantastic. If you know anybody or maybe have a family member or friend going through cancer, this is such a good one to have. So I am going to share with you four incredible cards this week that some of them are a little bit over the top. Some of them are quick and simple that you can get a bunch done and send them out. Another idea that I would love to do with this one, and I think I might do this, is maybe just make a stack of cards and send them to a cancer center and just let them hand them out to their patients and just their family members that come visit. So it's a good stamp set to have, and because it supports cancer, if you check on page 4 of the mini catalog where it's featured, at $3 of every sale of this stamp set will go to breast cancer organizations. So that is another great reason to purchase this stamp set. It's only $20 and you're gonna do a lot of good with your purchase, and we're gonna make some beautiful cards this week. If you want to get the class to go for free, all you need to do is place an order minimum of $50 before tax and after any rewards in my online store by September 30th. So between September 16th and September 30th, all orders over $50 are going to qualify for this class to go. If you want to bump up your order to $100, you're going to get the class kit and 5 bonus cards. The 5 bonus cards are pulled from my basket. They may not coordinate with the stamp set. They're just free gifts for you to use as inspiration, or cards that you can mail out to your friends and family. If you want to bump your order up even more to $150, you're going to get the class kit, the bonus cards, and you're going to get the full embellishment that we're using this week, or this for this class to go. And this time we are using the loose gold sequins. So you're going to get a ton of these. If your order is $150 more, you're going to get a whole package of these. There are so many in here, so you will definitely not even make a dent in just by making the cards. So you'll have those for a while. They're great for shaker cards as well. But you'll get a full package of those. So make sure to check out the details in the video link below, and also on my blog if you want more details on how to get the class to go, and also all the little fine print of that. So we're gonna start with card 1. This one is one of the ones that is a little bit over the top, but it is stunning and gorgeous, and I can't wait to share this one with you. This is a slider one, so there is the gold heat embossing there, and it is just stunning. There's lots of little details on this, and this is a slider card, so it pulls up just like that. There's room to write on the back. You can also add another panel of cardstock on the back too if you want more room to write, but it's just a really sweet, beautiful card. It just occurred to me that I need to grab a punch, so I'm going to actually grab a punch real quick. They're just right off to the side here, so let me just grab that. Okay, here we are. My punches are the only thing that I don't have like in reach of me at all times, so I always have to get up to get punches, and I forgot that I'm going to need a punch for that little cutout there. So let's start. I've already done a little bit of pre-stamping. I've pre-heat embossed the greeting. So this big stamp here that comes half the flower, half the greeting. So I heat embossed this one in gold. So I did that just to save us a little bit of time on the basic black circle from the Stylish Shapes dies. There's also a white one, and we're going to stamp the flower on that one. They're the same size. We have a circle. This is a 2-inch circle. This will be for our little tab here, so that won't be stamped on. We have another few pieces of paper. This one I've already stamped too. These are just the hearts in the background. I don't know if you can see that. Do you see all that like grid lines? We're gonna actually do that with our Simply Scored. So I'm gonna put this aside. That's pretty in pink. And then we have our card base. This is the inside of our card, this white piece, and then the actual card base. This is just an 11 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock scored at 5.5. But we're going to talk about all the other card pieces as we go along. But let's start with our scoring on this one. We're going to get all the little details done and the stamping done before we start all the assembly. So let's start with this. So you're going to grab your Simply Scored. Now you can do this with your paper trimmer too. My Simply Scored I have taken a Sharpie and I have just drawn down my 6-inch score line. If you have, if you've had the Simply Scored for a while, you might have the diagonal plate that we used to sell that fits right on here. If you have that diagonal plate, by all means, just get that out and use the diagonal plate. But I am going to use my 6-inch score line. The reason that I used a Sharpie and just made a line here is for techniques like this, so that I can line up, I can make sure that my paper is in that 6-inch groove on either side. So when I'm doing diagonal lines, I can easily make sure it's nice and straight and I can stay in that groove. So I'm going to hold this here and we're going to go every 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go down to 6.5. I'm going to catch that and go all the way down. 7, just jump right on, go all the way down. 8, and again, there we go. And I think, do we get on 9 just a little bit? There we go. All right, now I'm going to turn it how did I do that? Now we're going to go this way. So now I'm just holding, it's going to be flush up against the top now. And we're going to just add some other lines here. So I'm going to start with this at the 6-inch and we'll just go down to 5.5, 5. So I'm kind of just like, I'm gently going over this. I'm not scoring that top half. Oops. Well, that one's going to be a little bit closer, but that's okay. But I'm just going through and just making lines. There we go. So we're just really kind of just making that fun grid. This is really an optional step. You really definitely don't need to take the time to do this extra step. I think it adds some really fun texture. We're not going to fold on any of these lines. I think it just adds a lot of fun texture to the background, and it's only on that bottom right half there that it does that. Okay, let's go ahead and adhere this to our card base. Now, our card is not going to open, but we want the opening on the top so that we have that. So we can slide this up and down. So our card is not going to open. So when we adhere this down, we are going to adhere this upside down. So just go with me. I know that this is going to go against everything that we've ever done. All those times that you maybe accidentally made a card front and glued it upside down. This time we're doing it intentionally. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this and then we're just going to glue it on the front. Just like that. Okay, so let's grab that punch now. I just have a 2-inch circle punch. And if you want to mark center, you could. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm just going to stick this in. I'm only punching through the front half right now. And I'm just going in maybe like a 1/3, maybe like a 1/4. We don't need much. We just need a little bit to, so that we have a little finger notch. All right, now I'm just going to line this up with the back and give that a punch just so that we have all that. You can't really go through all 3 layers at the same time, so do the punch twice. Trust me, your hand will thank you for it. Okay, now that we have our little notch cut out, now we can cut our slit. So I'm gonna grab my paper trimmer and I'm gonna open this up. We don't wanna cut through the back, we just wanna cut through the front. And I'm gonna line this up at 2 1/8 because that is directly center of our 4 1/4 inch card. Bring this down just a little bit. 2 1/8, and I'm going to use my cutting blade. And I'm really just eyeballing this. I want to start be about 3/4 of an inch, halfway, 1/2 inch from that little cutout there. And I'm going to stop about 3/4 of an inch, halfway, or 1/2 inch down to the bottom. So just making a little slice in our card front, just like that. Okay, so you don't want it to go all the way to the bottom. You don't want it to go all the way to the top. Okay, so that is it. You can also use like an X-Acto knife or something for that if you want as well. Okay, now we have that done. Let's finish stamping. Our card base is basically ready at this point. So let's do some stamping. So I already have the greeting part heat embossed. So I'm going to grab my Melon Mambo ink pad and we're going to stamp the flower on this half, on the white one. All right, so we don't need to worry about inking up the whole thing. So I'm just gonna make sure that this is nice and inked up. This is one of our distinctive stamps. So you can see even from the sticker here, you're gonna get that gorgeous shading, light and dark areas with just the ink in the stamp. Okay, I'm just lining this up. I'm trying to get that flower as close to the edge of that circle as I can. Perfect, look at all those beautiful light and dark shades. I'm gonna close this up before we get Melon Mambo ink everywhere. I'll hold this up so you can see just how gorgeous all that is. All right, grab your paper trimmer. I'm just gonna use my little one, and we are just going to cut this flower off, just kind of like right along the edge here, just like that. So we just want this piece, okay? All right, let me find some dimensionals. All right, I'm gonna stick this on with dimensionals, and this circle is cut with the same die, so they're gonna line up. So I'm gonna just really try to make sure. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut off a little bit more because I can see that my greeting was stamped a little bit too far over, which is okay. We can cut off a little bit more of the flower. We don't want to cover any of the greetings. I'm just gonna cut just a little sliver off because I want to make sure that the circles are lined up, but I want to make sure that none of the greeting is covered up. So just a tiny bit more. So you may have to just play with this and adjust until you get the right, you know, measurements here. I think that will do it. Okay. So none of my greeting is covered up. So gorgeous. You can see that gold embossing real good there. So beautiful, right? So I love this card. Okay, so let's bring back this and this is our inside piece. The inside piece is 3 7/8 by, well, it's 3 7/8 by 5, but I think that, let me see what I wrote down on my, yeah, 3 7/8 by 5. Okay. We're gonna go with it. That's what I cut it at. That's what we'll go with. All right. I have a piece of basic black that is 1 by 3. I'm gonna stick this through, and I'm gonna place it all the way at the bottom of that little, the little line we cut out. And we're gonna open this up. I'm gonna make sure that it's nice and straight, and I'm going to add some glue to this. Actually, ooh, I got it on my inside piece. We don't want that. We don't want glue there. I am gonna just grab my Stampin' Seal Plus. Actually, I just want to put a little bit of this on. This needs to hold really well. This is going to get tugged and pulled, so you want to make sure that this is super secure. So you can use liquid glue, whatever glue you want, but make sure this is nice and secure. I just want to make sure there's no adhesive that's going to hinder that. Make sure it's nice and straight. And then we're going to take our white piece, and I want it to be lined up with the very top up here. And I'm going to leave room on the sides because we will have to adhere our card closed. So I'm going to leave room on the sides. Just give that a little press. And then this is going to slide up and down just like this. Okay. With adhesive on the front there. Okay. Now that we have that nice and lined up, I'm going to take my liquid glue and I am going to put the thinnest line of glue. Liquid glue is super strong, so you really don't need a lot of it. So I'm really just I'm barely squeezing. I don't want hardly any of it to really come out. I just want the little thinnest line just to hold it closed. And if you want to trim this white piece and make it a little shorter, you can even go down to like 3 3/4 of an inch. You can make it even thinner if you need to. If you're worried you don't have enough room on your edges here, you can definitely make it a little bit thinner. So let's give this nice little burnish. Let's make sure that glue is nice and secure. And then your piece is going to slide up and down. Okay? Okay. So that is it. We have our piece nice and adhered down. We have our card closed up now. And again, if you want to add a piece on the back, make sure to do that before you adhere everything together, because if you need to cut that little notch out, you can. Okay, let's add some dimensionals. I'm gonna use some edge pieces here. We're gonna add dimensionals to this black piece right here. And this is where our circle is gonna get adhered. So I'm gonna line this up down here. And I know that I have a little piece hanging out down here, but that's okay. I'll just take my scissors and just trim that like that. So if you have that little corner hanging off, just trim that off, okay? And you have this piece that will slide up and down. Okay, now I didn't stamp the inside, but I did that on purpose because I wanted to make sure that we have everything kind of adhered before we stamp the inside. Now, if you want to stamp the inside, if you're nervous about making sure that you get it in the right place, or that you might mess up and you need a different piece of paper, then by all means you can kind of eyeball where things are going to go. I like to get everything adhered because we're going to adhere this circle as kind of just like a little, like a pull tab. And I like to get that on before I stamp my greeting so that I know how kind of low and high I need to go. Okay, so I just folded that in half. It's just a 2-inch circle. We're going to put some adhesive on both sides of this. And we're going to just place this down. Just kind of eyeball it. We can close it too and make sure that the circle lines up with the circle notch that we made here. I'm going to pull this off, make sure that everything is lined up. So we'll go ahead and just stick that in like this. Give that a little press, pull it out. There. That way we make sure it's all lined up. Just like that, okay? All right, I'm gonna take a little hole punch. This is just a 1/8 of hole punch. I'm gonna punch, and I'm gonna add some of this brand new black and white gold acres twine. This, I believe, is in the new online exclusives. This is brand new this month. I think it's in the online exclusives. Man, I did not center that well, did I? That's okay. It's handmade, not Hallmark. It's okay. I'm gonna go with it. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit of this off, and we're just gonna tie a bow. And this will further indicate that your recipient needs to pull this up. If you wanna write pull, or if you have the Hooray for Surprises stamp set, that one is retired, but it also had a little stamp that said pull on it. You can also put that on there too. Okay, so we have our little bow ready to go. So let's finish this off with the stamping and then the sequence. Okay, so we're gonna bring out our Melon Mambo ink again. And this one says, friends don't let friends fight cancer alone. So I'm just gonna pull this down just to make sure that I can get this nice and straight there. Perfect. And we have Pretty in Pink. And I'm gonna pull that little heart in that we stamped on the outside. I have a piece of scratch paper here. I'm gonna stamp that off on scratch paper and then stamp that directly over the greeting. All right, let's add our little sequence. We're gonna do this with liquid glue. You could also use glue dots. That works just great too for these. I'm gonna just take a little pinch of them and put them in the lid. I found that it's a lot easier to pick these up when you have just a few out than when you have a ton out. So I'm gonna close this because we gotta strategically place these because we don't want any of these sequins to get in the way. So I'm gonna keep this closed while we place 2 down here. So I'm gonna do 2 little dots of glue and we'll pick these up and set them down right into the glue. These will take a minute to dry, but once that Tombow glue dries, they will be nice and secure. Okay, so we have this down just to make sure that that circle doesn't interfere with them up there. And so then we're gonna pull this up and we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna kind of place these around. Because this is on dimensionals, it really shouldn't interfere too much. But, you know, I like to be careful and just make sure that we don't place these anywhere that things might interfere. All right, I'm going to turn that one upside down. The sequins are like slightly cupped. So there is like a side that's better to glue down. It's kind of like surgery. You just got to place them down. You can use the other end of take your pick tool and just kind of make sure that they're all adhered down very well. All right, and that, I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and close this carefully. I want those sequins to really dry before I start playing with this card up and down. But that is our card for today. I hope you guys love this sweet slider card. This one is all dry, so we can play with this one. Hope you guys love this sweet slider card. It is a lot of fun. I think this would really bring a big smile to anybody's face if they receive this in the mail, if they were receiving cancer treatments or going through that that journey. So I hope you guys join me for the next 3 days. I have more projects with this stamp set coming up, so make sure to join me for the next 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'll have more cards posting. All right, guys, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure to do that. It's easy. You just click that subscribe button and you never miss a video. Thanks, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow in day 2. Bye.